Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and the first lesson of today is not to let your girlfriend cut your hair during lockdown. I've had a nightmare, I know. Let's get on to today's video, which is me ranking the top 5 managers in League 2 this season. Okay, let's dive straight into it, and at number 5, I've gone for Michael Duff at Cheltenham. He has had a phenomenal campaign. Let's not forget this was his first full season in charge at the club, and many people tipped them to finish in the bottom half of the table rather than the top 6. What a campaign he has had. He's proved himself to be one of the top managers in the league, but they just couldn't get over the line at the end. 4-4-2 at the start of the season predicted that they would finish 16th in the league, which just shows what a fantastic job he did to finish 4th. Exceeded all expectations, but just fell short of that final goal in the playoffs. Northampton did them over in that second leg, didn't they? 3-0. They blew that 2-0 lead when it looked like they were going to Wembley. It didn't quite happen, but that doesn't take too much away from his achievements this season with that Cheltenham team. They were close to the automatic places. I think they can build looking forward to next season, but his transfer business was really good. Owen Evans, the goalkeeper, came in. Charlie Raglan at the back. Ruben Reid and Tom Nichols up front came in for free or on loan, and they're great signings. They will help them a load this season. And it's not just them. I mean, the squad he's built there now looks like a really capable squad in League 2. Chris Hussey's impressed again at left wing back. Connor Thomas in the middle looks like he's developing into the player we thought he could be when he was at Coventry and at previous clubs. Alfie May, of course, he was the man they managed to pick up from Doncaster. They paid a bit of money for him. He came in and scored goals. He's a permanent signing, so he'll be there next season. And things are looking good for Michael Duff. I really think they're in a good position to challenge next year. But the reason he's not any higher on this list is just because of that playoff game. If he'd reached the final or got them promoted, he'd be way higher up in this list. But it's 5th place for Michael Duff and Cheltenham. 4th on the list now, and this might surprise a few of you, but I've gone for Ryan Lowe at Plymouth. Clearly, he's done a great job at the first time of asking. He's got them back into League 1, but the expectations at Plymouth were high at the start of this season. Let's not forget, many people tipped them to win the league, including me and 4-4-2. We both thought they'd win the league, and they didn't quite do it. They finished 3rd. Obviously, the season was cut short, decided on points per game, so we're not sure where they would have finished. But for Ryan Lowe, it's been another good season in League 2. 2 seasons, 2 promotions. You can't ask for much more than that. And now he's getting linked with championship jobs like Bristol City, of course. So he's doing really well. Obviously, he came from Bury, and he had that bit of a boost where he came from a club that were losing all their players, so he could bring a lot of them down south with him. 2 key ones for them, Danny Mayer and Byron Moore. Obviously, Danny Mayer, we all know what he's about in League 2. Fantastic. He's a level above. We'll see if he can do it in League 1 with Plymouth next season, but he's been brilliant for them. And Lowe has managed the team really well. He got a bit of backing, didn't he? This is why he's probably lower on the list than a few of you might expect from me. George Cooper from Peterborough came in, and Ryan Hardy came in on loan in January, both signings that helped them out. And I think a lot of people expected them to do well this season. And although Ryan Lowe's got them promoted, amazing, I think he's just reached expectations there. And that's why he's 4th on this list. By no means this is diminishing his achievements. It's a hell of an achievement to be 4th on this list, let me tell you that. They've got an instant return to League 1, and his system really looked like it worked, that 5-3-2. I think he'll stick with it next season if he is at Plymouth, and we'll see how they get on in League 1. But Ryan Lowe, for me, is 4th on the list. On to 3rd place, and this might shock a few of you, but I've gone for champion Swindon Town and manager Richie Wellens in 3rd. Now, he's done a fantastic job. Let's not get that wrong. He deserves every credit for winning the league with Swindon. Let's not forget, they finished 13th last season. He's taken them from there to champions. 4-4-2 thought they'd finish 6th. I think a lot of people thought that squad was in the midst of the kind of the playoffs, you know, thought that's where they would finish. So he's done brilliantly to win the league with them. With that game in hand, points per game, they finished top. Brilliant achievement. But remember, fans weren't happy when Wellens was appointed back in November 2018. His only manager experience there was getting relegated with Oldham from League 1, and fans weren't too keen to see him get the job. I'll put a few tweets up here, but it wasn't positive from Swindon fans at all. So for Wellens to transform how the entire club and how the football world now looks at him is absolutely brilliant. I really like him as a manager. I hope he does well next season, but the reason I've put him third is that they were financially backed midway through the season. They did very well to get Owen Doyle on loan, and then to sign him permanently was absolutely brilliant for them. I mean, his record speaks for itself, doesn't it? 25 goals this term, 11 more than anyone else in the league. That is just ridiculous. If you've got a striker like that, it's pretty likely that you're going to get promoted. But of course, Wellens managed to bring him in because he knew him at Oldham. When Oldham were relegated under Wellens, he was their top scorer. I think he only got 11 or something that season, but he knew what he could do and he brought him in. He also brought in from Oldham Rob Hunt, who had a great season as well. So Wellens, he knew what he was doing. He picked a few of the gems he had at Oldham, few diamonds in the rough perhaps, and he turned them into stars at Swindon. Of course, we don't know if Owen Doyle is going to stay or not. He might have an offer from Bolton. His head might be turned, but if he can stay with Swindon, they'll be entirely grateful to him for next season. But there are other players in their squad have impressed as well. You've got the likes of Hallam Hope, Jerry Yates, Paul Caddis's experience. These are good players for League Two. So I think once we saw what they could do, it was expected that they could finish in the top 6 or higher. They've done fantastically to win the league, but they did have that help. And that's why I've gone for Richie Wellens in third. A brilliant season. So there's only 2 managers left on the list, and in second place I've gone for Keith Curle at Northampton. Yep, the big man himself. I mean, I didn't think I'd be saying he was the second best manager in League Two this season, but here we are. I had no inkling that they'd get promoted this season, and he has just done a brilliant job. The playoff winners, of course, against all the odds. They came back against Cheltenham in that ridiculous semi-final, and they smashed the final itself 4-0. One of the best performances we've seen at Wembley in recent years. They completely deserve their promotion, and Keith Curle is a huge reason for that. It's a direct style of play. It rubs people up the wrong way sometimes, but it gets results, and he deserves the credit for it. They were predicted to finish 11th at the start of the season, which is about right for Northampton. Of course, they didn't look like much of a team last season, but Curle has managed to turn them round. Again, he's done brilliantly. It's his first full season in charge at Northampton, and they finished 7th. It was a good performance, but to finish 7th and then win the playoffs, absolutely remarkable. And of course, it's Keith Curle's first promotion in his career. You saw the joy on his face at Wembley. He deserves it. He loved it. And we want to see more of that from Keith Curle. He only got the job in October 2018. A couple of months later, 18 months later, promotion to League One. That's what we want to see. And his transfers, you have to say, with a limited budget, he's done brilliantly well at Northampton. Let's talk about that loan signing of Callum Morton from West Brom. Perhaps he got lucky with that one. Sometimes this happens with managers. They get a lone striker in from a couple of divisions above and he just scores and scores and scores. But Callum Morton, that Wembley performance was brilliant. He's been excellent throughout the season, but it's not just him, is it? The permanent signings, the free signings. Verdane Oliver from Morecambe. What a powerhouse he turned out to be, causing problems for defenders all over the shop. Nicky Adams from Bury, another one. Bury went bust. They managed to pick up Nicky Adams from them, and Ryan Watson from MK Dons. All good signings who played big parts this season, and Curle picked them out and got them into his team, and they had a system and it worked. He barely spent a penny. He's done it on a tight budget, and now they're back in League One. It really is a brilliant achievement. And so we arrive at my number 1, and no surprises for guessing, it's the manager of the other unmentioned promoted team. The number 1 manager, in my opinion, in League Two this season was David Artell at Crewe. What a job he has done. They were predicted to finish 15th. Last season, they finished 12th. They were just a mid-table League Two team. He was trying to put the building blocks in place for something special, but no one predicted that they would finish second. What a job he has done there. I mean, they've relied on a lot of young players. They've relied on a few experienced heads, and he's mixed them together perfectly to finish second in League Two. And they could have won the league if it kept going. Who knows? But promotion to League One for Crewe Alexandra, absolutely fantastic. And not only that, he's developed young players that could sell for a lot of money. We know that's what Crewe like to do, and they have to do to keep their club going. And Artell has fit that system perfectly, and he's got them playing a great style of football. They've got 2 of the finest fullbacks in the Football League. Captain Perry NG has had a brilliant season, and Harry Pickering on the other side. He is destined for the top, in my opinion. Look at some of his stats. Honestly, he is just remarkable. I'll be surprised, to be honest, if they can keep hold of him this summer. There'll be a lot of interest from Championship, maybe even Premier League clubs for his signing. He's only 21 and he's already nearly made 100 appearances. That is incredible, and his stats show why he is such a good player up and down that left, such a good outlet for Crewe from left back. He was key to them attacking teams and keeping them penned in, but also a solid defender as well. It's not just him though, as I mentioned, they blended youth with experience in this style. Artell did it perfectly. Can you believe 36-year-old Chris Porter got 12 goals this season leading the line? Brilliant stuff from him. Ryan Wintle in the middle and Charlie Kirk, both fantastic, 23 and 22 years old. Absolutely incredible. Kirk running down that left wing, nice pairing with Pickering there on the left. And then, of course, Jussi Jääskeläinen's son in goal. Will Jääskeläinen came on leaps and bounds, and he's only 21. So this is a good generation of Crewe Academy products, a good generation of Crewe players guided by a few experienced heads, and Artell as a manager, absolutely fantastic. They only lost one of their last 12 games, which is what saw them go up the table and finish in the automatic places. But the job he's done has been incredible. You look at the transfers, he's not spent a penny really. He brought in Michael Nottingham on loan from Blackpool, who's been key in their backline. Daniel Powell as well. He looked a bit finished, let's be honest. Yet from Northampton, he's come in and done a brilliant job playing on the right wing mainly. He's been really good for Crewe. David Artell's been incredible. No big signings, just a really nice, well-gelled together team. Youth players shining. It's what we like to see in League Two. And for that reason, David Artell is my #1 pick for League Two manager of the season. This is the first top 5 I've done, and I really want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. So in the comments, please write your 1 to 5 of League Two managers this season. You've got to take into account everything, the budget, what their expectations were, if they got promotion. That's what I've tried to do, and I'm pretty happy with my top 5 in the end. Let me know what you think, and of course, like and subscribe if you like this video. This is a bit of a new one, isn't it? But let me know if you enjoyed it. For now, I'll see you on the next one.